Hey guys, so this is a pre-recorded or already recorded map on Dry Arabia. So we tried doing kind of a tower to drush with our horsemen. If you do a drush against Ottoman, it might work if you go barracks and spearmen. So that's definitely I think it's viable. If you go with spearmen, you might have a little bit of success. And I did do that against someone on an Ottoman player, and it kind of slowed him down and everything. But it also set me back pretty good once because I go horseman. Once he started getting the spearman out, and I couldn't get my tower down in time. I couldn't do much in terms of fighting him. So that's definitely a factor to take in. And this is a different match. On Dry Arabia, we're going against Memre, and so after losing against the Ottoman doing that, um, I think I played against another Ottoman, and I was going to try Fast Castle. Or maybe I played Abbasid. I can't remember. Anywho, this time we were kind of looking for more of a standard kind of just trade boom and look to castle and just nonstop produce units and raid constantly. Um, and our trader is super close. I think once the silver tree gets set up, from here to here is only worth 12 gold. So it's definitely not a lot of income. Um, but it is quick return of investment, which is nice. But the big thing is, what we're able to do on this map is just constantly produce units. So I think that's kind of the key is don't get outproduced, because once you do, it gets rough, and make sure you get some good raids in. So again, this is like that typical Ottoman build. They're dropping the military school. Their first one's out in a minute's time, minute plus. I think it's a minute 5 seconds. And they have been nerfed a little bit. So this is now the patch where blacksmith influence has dropped the military school. Instead of doing 25% of feudal, it's 20%. So it definitely helps a few seconds, which is nice. And yeah, so this is where we see this. The mining camp is coming out. 2.5 minutes. So if we had a horseman here, we'd be able to deny this a little bit, but we wouldn't be able to drop a tower in time, and that's kind of the big deal. Um, if you can't drop a tower, you're not going to be able to hold this against these spearmen unless you go spearman yourself. So again, if you do go for a drush, I think spearman is definitely an option. Since I don't go for this drush because the last time I tried it, it was pretty rough. Yeah, it's like a minute 7 seconds. We're just gonna go for just our base H2 play, and we are picking up a good amount of sheep here. Just our typical spread on villagers, 5 on food, rallying all of the rest of my villagers onto wood, 4 tapping up the landmark, and he's gonna start tapping up the twin minaret, and he's gonna tap up with 6 villagers. So he's gonna speed that up just a little bit. Again, I would say not what you typically see. I usually see them with just 4, and then there's 2 other villagers are still collecting wood or food. Definitely does affect the amount of units you can pump out. And this, we're collecting sheep. We got another 7 sheep here, so we got a pretty good sheep haul. He's got a pretty good sheep haul here too as well. He's got 1, 2, 3. There's 4, 5, minus a couple. Yeah, so he's probably picked up like 5 sheep here. And he's going for the straggler wood. Not a bad call per se to go for the straggler wood. Especially since you're Ottomans and you're focusing on the feudal push, so you're just trying to crank out as many units as you can. So I can see why he's doing this play, and he's got enough to start dropping a production building now. we're dropping an archer in first. I do like the stable for pressure, but we're dropping archer in first to deal with this spearman that's always inevitable coming out first. And he's got another spearman out, so this is that Ottoman military that's just constantly kind of churning out units. And again, 12 gold. This isn't a huge amount of income, but it definitely helps. You got one spearman over here, another spearman over here. He's switching to Sapahis, which are about almost 2 minutes to train. Excuse me. But definitely worth it in terms of presence on the field. A little bit of a misplay here with me. We do almost lose this trader because of this. But we're able to clean up this little aggression here. And we're still kind of stopped making silver tree because we're focusing on our infrastructure. We're dropping a stable. He's got the military school and he's dropping a blacksmith. And I'm sure he'll start building more units out here shortly. Militarily, again, he's got just 2 spears and this 1 scout. The Sipahi's about halfway through. So we've got a nice little window here where we can kind of pressure and do things. If we had burned these 2 houses down, that would be pretty big. Again, if you're going to go like super aggressive, the window is definitely here early. There's definitely a window early on to kind of do stuff. So we are sending our Mangudai forward. We didn't want to make the mistake of just sitting around our base and not getting any eco kills. So we're going up trying to find if we can get any hits here. He does have 5 villagers on his berries, which is too many. I believe 3 is the ideal number that you want on these berries so they never run out. Or that they're working constantly. We have a nice double deer patch right here. So we're working on the deer. We haven't gotten our upgrade. He has gotten wheelbarrow and broadaxe. So or double broadaxe, whatever it is. Lumber preservation. Okay, well. Over here we see his army. We see it's a Sipahi. We see it's a scout. We do see a meter out here. I think that meter comes from his upgrade. And his military school, they're both producing Sipahi now. He's going 2 archery ranges, a barracks, a stable. So he's just going full out on this infrastructure, which is understandable. He's 18 on wood right now, so there's also, as you can tell, a window here of where we can come in and we can raid them. We could have been raiding and hitting them here. I think we're gonna try to do it right now. Because we knew he was on this wood line up here. So again, nice little raid. Taking out 1 villager, 2 villagers. So that's really big. You know, the little things like that add up. Pulling our eco count a little bit further ahead. And it idles a whole bunch of his eco as well. All of this idle time on 17 vills is a pretty big detail. And here we just got to fall back. But behind this, we do have horsemen being made. We are dropping another stable because he's making mass archers. We can tell with his wood production that he was going to go heavy into archers. And so we're able to kill this Sipahi. He also saw our Mangudai, so his immediate response is to make archers. Again, slight eco advantage. We're not going super heavy on trader production again. We're not getting a ton of resources from using these traders. Over here, we're able to kind of lure his guys into a fight. And he was going for ranged armor with his meter. So we focused on the meter so our Mangudai can kind of do some more damage here. And he's trying to shoot down our Mangudai. A little bit of wasted damage here with these 3 not shooting. But the big thing is we were able to kind of pull in this big force of his early on with his early aggression and just kind of be able to fold him back and push him back to his base. So definitely a good little detail to make sure whatever fight you take early on is decisive. If you pushing in with troops, try to envelop him, try to get him out of position. We basically had him chasing our Mangadai and taking the Mangadai as an easy fight, and our horseman came up and kind of surprised him. Now we got a bunch of idle time coming in too. So we're losing these horsemen here. A little bit unfortunate, but a ton of idle time. Almost his entire eco, except for these villagers on gold, are idled here. So that's a really big deal. Behind this, we're rallying troops up close. We got a scout, we got 3 more horsemen, and we got 2 more Mangadai here. So again, he's pushing us. He's chasing us with these archers because he wants to take out our Mangadai. And we're just going to focus down these spears with our Mangadai and chase down his archers with our horsemen. No sense in fighting the fight differently. And we're just going to try to kite away from the Sipahi. Again, just let our horsemen frontline for us. Make sure we micro down any spears we bump into. And we're just keeping good pressure here. And we're not losing our military numbers here. And he's pumping out like 4 units at a time when he pumps them out, so definitely a lot of resources. And they're quick to produce with this blacksmith. A lot of civs have to wait till castle to get their blacksmith upgrade. What is it? The military academy to go faster, 33% production, but these guys get it with the blacksmith, 20%. So for free. So that's a pretty big deal. We have a nice horseman army. We were making a ton of horsemen behind all of this. We're making some Mangadai and more horsemen now. We're making double Mangadai production. So stay with our idled. We are floating a bunch of food right now. We're kind of looking into possibly going castle, and we weren't entirely sure what we were going to do. We did have one scout around the backside of his base watching all of this production going on throughout here. And we were kind of worried he was going to go up to castle at this point. And we do a good job predicting this and hitting these villagers here. And we're able to kill just a couple villagers, get the burn down on one house, and we're able to pull out. And that leaves him almost housed here. And while we're hitting him here, we're getting chased by this army of spearmen, by this army of archers. We're going to pull our Mangadai up and hit the front of his base. We could probably turn and fight the Sipahi, and we are. There we go. And 2 villagers down, 3 villagers down, 4 villagers down. 4 villagers for a Mangadai, for 2 Mangadai is definitely, I think, a worthwhile trade this early on. There's a 9 villager difference in terms of villager kills. And I do want to see, I just want to pause it real quick. So here we were kind of looking into going into castle, and I was kind of like debating whether to make more troops or not. And I want to just I was setting up the tower over here, running out of food here. Those are my idols. And I think the big thing was, I wanted to move this market. I've only got 5 traders going, so I'm not really super committed to the trade. It's just like a slow income of trade going here. We've got 11 on wood, 23 on food. I think I'm curious to see. Give me 1 second. I want to go onto the. I'm going to go onto the AOE 4 calculator right now. Sorry about the pause screen basically, but I want to do the production calculator. We'll go Mongols, units per minute, constant rate, main food source. So we'll just say sheep, even though our main food source is actually deer in this case, but we got sheep. We'll just say sheep just for the sake of it. And then we'll say from the stable, horsemen, age 1. No, we don't want to do age 1. We'll go age 2. Sheep, herdable. Sorry about this. 1 archery range, Mangadai. So you can produce 2 mangadite per minute from here, and we would require 7 on food, 3 on gold. So right now we have enough to produce constant mangadites, and we have gold income increasing because of our traders. So that's 7 of our food villagers would be there. 4 of them we need for villager production. So we're at 11 villagers right now for that. And now if we go to a stable and do a horseman, 1 stable constantly is 2 on wood, 8 on food. So that'd be 11 plus 8 is 19. So we have enough for 1 constant stable and like a half and a little bit of extra. So 19, 27. So if that, we're in feudal and we're kind of, staying here still. We're doing pretty good amount of damage. And we're producing units constantly. So we have another massive mangadite over here. We have a massive horseman. He's we can see him. These massive archers and this meta chasing our Khan, and that's where we're pulling him into this stealth forest so we can hit him with these horsemen. But this is the point where like I decide to kind of go up for castle. But honestly, let's look. Military count is even. He's not looking for castle. He's all in. So I wonder if at this point the right move was that. I don't know if that was the right move or not. I wonder if the right move was to continue producing horsemen. Keep producing military. Anywho, we'll just keep watching and see what happens here. Again, we're here. We're trying to take down this meta before his archers show up, and then we pull our horseman up. And he was paying attention, and he sees it last second and kind of reacts to it. He's pulling back his spearmen and his sipahi, and we're going to raid his gold line again now. So horsemen are hitting here. Mangadai wrap around the side. We're going to just sacrifice these horsemen just to anchor this army here for a while we're hitting this gold over here, while we're hitting over here. And we've killed now, we went from 9 villager kills to 16, 17, 18. So we just killed 10 villagers in this split here that we just did. And we're going to get out with most of our horsemen. And we do lose, I think, 2 Mangadai, maybe 3. And we're going to get out of there. So that was a really big raid that we hit here. And I think after hitting that, I think that's when we decided, I think we felt a lot more comfortable going up to castle now. And that's what we're doing right now. We're going up to castle. We're dropping 3 pastures, using up that wood, and getting ready to transition into castle. We are unfortunately, long distance mining our deer here, so we got to do that. Pay attention to that. We're just sending a couple of spearmen, or horsemen, on a lone little raid over here. We sent our Mangadai up as well. He sent everyone over to these back berries. Okay, so he's committing on to food production right now because he wants to go to castle age. This one lone horseman, he's not idling his troops, but we'll do some decent damage there. And because we're going up to castle, we're not producing horsemen. And that leaves this one little pause in the action where all of a sudden these 11 archers can counter me. We are hitting this gold in the back here. Again, getting a couple villager kills, I think. But losing pretty much our entire cav force. So probably would have been better just to take this gold, and then just burn down these houses. Kill out this one unit. Over here we see his archer mass pushing us, and we're just going to take these couple of horsemen, and they're just fighting. We have a couple more on the way, so we're able to fight this with no issues, and we're going to push up with our Mangadai, and we're tapping up with our Kurultai here. So we took a pretty decent pause in the action to age up, and he's looking to age up too. He's got plenty of gold. He's just looking for the food now, and we're able to kind of clean up this force of archers here. And now that we've aged up, we'll kind of see how he reacts with his army. We want to raid this woodland again. If we can stop wood, we can stop spears, we can stop archers. And we've cleaned up this armor. We're going to move our Kurultai up, and we wanted to produce more units, but while we were aging up, we used our food vills. So again, kind of a mistake there. Oh, he sent an army around the back here. Couple spearmen. Over here, we got a horseman dealing with these archers. And our Mang and I are wrapping around the flank here. We wanted to hit the gold. We don't want gold-heavy units out here, especially since he just denied our gold. 6 spearmen, 2 sipahi. It's a pretty decent force. Definitely could do some damage. We're moving our silver tree. And over here, we're just trading out our horsemen. And once these spearmen show up, it's a very bad trade, and we could have rotated them over to here. But while they're getting like fighting here, we kind of knew. I mean, it was a little bit unfortunate because our Mangadai, our veteran Mangadai upgrade didn't come through. But we wanted to idle these villages off of wood or pick a few off, but we were able to idle some. And over here, he's kind of raiding our base, and we are going to lose a couple of villages here. And we're just going to pull our Mangadai away and around. The upgrade's about to come through. Silver Tree has set up, and we're now getting 135 gold per trade. So that's a lot better income right there. And our military is starting to form up, but all of a sudden, you can see this big flip in the numbers because we went up, and because we went up with our food villagers, not our wood villagers. All of a sudden, I'm floating a ton of wood, and I'm short on food. So definitely a big deal there. Over here, we're able to pick off some more villagers on his food, and we're able to idle his gold again. And he's got enough resources to age up now. But if he does, it's kind of like what we just were in. Like, he's going to give us the chance to get our army back. Wow, he's got to make do with his military advantage that he has. So, I think aging up when we did was the right call. Again, we had enough resources to get a lot more pressure going, and it might have been able to seal the deal in feudal a little bit better. Over here, he's got a really big army here, and we'll just pause it real quick. We've idled this. We didn't know where his villages were at, and I didn't realize he was aging up here. If we had rolled up and hit these 15 vills, that would have been a really big deal. But over here, we see this army. 14 spears, 5 archers, 5 sipahi. So this is definitely an anti-cavalry army. If we need it, if anything, we definitely need the Mangadai to show up to be able to deal with this. And we just pull away from this TC with our horsemen. And we don't want to lose our knights against these spearmen. And that's why we pull our Mangadai over, just to kind of screen for these knights and let them kind of take this fight and try to pick off some of these spearmen while we rotate around. And we bring our cavalry back to hand to hit this archers. And he pulls back away from our Kurotai, which is kind of what we were worried about him, was camping on Kurotai and burning it down. And he taps out here. I think we were far enough ahead where it kind of makes sense. From here, we were actually sending our Mangadai over to go. We were going to send our Mangadai over to go raid this berries. So, I think, as Mongols, as long as you have 2 stables in feudal, you're going to have more than enough presence to be able to crank out units, I think, to fight it, and maybe 2 ranges. Just double check on that AoE 4 world unit calculator. You can see like how many units you actually need, villages you actually need on what resources to be cranking it out, and just to have that kind of set so you can be constantly producing. And right there, he almost flipped the script on us in terms of military and harass and stuff when we stopped producing units. And that's kind of that risk about aging up. If you have 1 stable is 8 villagers on food, one range that's 7 villagers on food, and your villager production going, you have 19 villagers on food there, and that's not looking to age up. So once you have above 19 villagers on food and you're just keeping constant production, I think that's kind of what you need to keep as a steady basis of production, is those 19 villagers producing military and those units. And every now and then you're getting a bonus with your double production with your uvu, but I think that's kind of pretty important, so you can kind of keep pace with the Ottoman player. Their feudal aggression is so hard. It's even that game where I aged up, it was almost like I didn't have to age up. It was almost like I could just stay on the pedal in feudal and just try to match their production. The big thing is just not to fall behind in production, and drop your range, drop your stable immediately, and then drop a blacksmith, and then you're probably going to drop another stable, maybe even another range. And even if you're not, um, and it's better to have two stables producing for half a minute than one stable producing for a full minute in the sense of in terms of mass, because they produce their units so much quicker. That 20% quickness increase, it really you'll feel it. You'll see it in the numbers there, and you'll see because he committed to those early fights with us, we were able to kind of pull him out of that and not let him get a super critical mass there. So it's definitely still a super hard matchup against Ottomans, but I think that was a good match that went well, that we could kind of work with and kind of see just a different way of approaching the fight. Uh, Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.